business is similar to building a home in many ways. First, you need to invest in a solid research to understand what is the best location that could be suitable for your business and for your image. Then you can set your style, design, colors, and overall branding guidelines to make sure you have a solid business identity in the market. Next, you need to formulate the plan that will guide you step by step to reach your business goals. Whether you're building your home or your business, you need to make sure you are well surrounded with the right experts. Check out their expertise, their skills, and make sure even if they don't get along together, you are the final decision maker. It's your home after all. If the business includes more than one partner, it's very important to involve them in the decision-making process. After all, it's all about setting the common ground to avoid future problems. Solid foundations will hold your business forever. That's why you need to make sure you have the right infrastructure. Building your dream house is just like building your own business. It's gonna take a long-term commitment, but make sure you enjoy the process.
Hi friends, happy to welcome you all to another wonderful program, Learning from Experts. We have already done 2 programs with one Mr. Kopas about Center of Influence and other one with John, how to be a right fit day. Today, we're going to see one more expert all the way from Cyprus, Mr. Jed. So you will be taking to that about prospecting magnet, what kind of sales objections and prospecting into you'll be teaching us. Before I want to connect with Jed, I'm taking his profile right now. So the today topic we are going to discussing about prospecting magnet, business and cash flow statistics, and our speaker today will be Jed and Douglas. He is the owner of Expand. He is the certified management consultant, CMC, and member of Certified Consultant Global Institute. He studies banking and finance, has acquired 20 years experience in building statistics for business and cash flow exploitation, targeting business, small and medium enterprises and family business. He has operated in several countries in the MENA regions and has been honored and engaged with various nationalities. He also a member of Marketing and Professional Development Committee in CNG Global. As a firewalker, mentee with Anthony Robinson, he has taken advantage of improving his standards of entrepreneurship, reaching up himself by bridging the gap between the academy and real world. So we already done one particular program with Jed on our live webinars. We had did it already with our ALC. If you're able to want to see their videos, we already in our YouTube channel, you can able to watch it. So now what I requested Jed be is a well-known, knowledgeable person with different kind of ideas, statistics. So Jed will be continuously coming with us with live webinars. In going to be a next, you can able to connect the live webinars. You can able to ask question to him. He will give you what kind of best solutions possible to find. Now I'm happy to welcome our expert, Mr. Jed.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the introduction. I'm happy to be here. Today, I'm gonna go straight to the point because prospecting is really, we all know that it's the name of the game. And if I might be able to just share my presentation so I can show you some slides about this. So technically, prospecting is really, we all know that it's the most important step in the business, because technically, if we're not selling, we don't even have a business at all. No matter what the business is, no matter what we are selling, whether you're selling insurance or any financial service or any kind of service at all, the whole game starts, or the whole process starts with prospecting. So no prospecting, that means no sales, and no sales, that means we don't have anything. And the last 2 years, it's been really difficult for people to prospect because and we all went through that because we couldn't really through COVID and through all these issues that were happening, travel restrictions and so on. So we used to prospect in the airport, we used to make trips, we used to go here and there, make PR, make gatherings and so on. So almost all the traditional ways of prospecting have been disappearing in a way or another, and we found out that we got many lessons from that, which we could discuss in different areas. But I really want to focus on how to become a magnet for prospecting, because this will change a little bit the setup. Because usually when you prospect, you use, I wouldn't say the push technique, but you are always going one side from you towards the prospect to get these people from different sources. Whereas what we're going to discuss today is how to become using the pull technique, which is attracting people to come to you instead of you going to them. Of course, it's a nice way to put it this way. It's not very easy. That's why I'm going to share with you an average of 20 tips that I've been using for the last at least 2 years. I've been using them for the last 20 years, but the last 2 years I've used them intensively and they worked. And the beauty about this is that it makes you able technically not only to become a prospecting magnet, but also to avoid using two very important things which we usually use are the phones and the paid ads. Because any kind of prospecting technique, any way or another, besides the traditional approaches, it involves a phone call and it involves a boosting campaign or an advertisement campaign. So the 20 tips we're going to share have nothing to do with paid ads or with using the phone. Now, I'm not against using them, but this is just to delete the excuse of somebody saying, you know what, but I don't have the money to do that. Or even if I pick up the phone, I cannot call this person because I cannot meet, and so on and so forth. So what are these tips? And of course, we will leave the floor for the questions at the end. The first one, as a basic, is of course to have segmented email newsletters to different audiences. This is every topic, by the way, could be done as a totally separate session, but this is important just to put all the ideas. So how to not only send email newsletters to everyone in the database. So you can segment the database. There are a lot of tools regarding email newsletters. What is important is depending on each person, how they segment their database. For example, for me, I classify them as small businesses, medium businesses, large businesses, multinational businesses, and so on. I can specify, for example, because I deal with a lot of businesses by industry. So I can classify as insurance, banking, real estate, pharmaceutical, and so on. So for other people, they can segment as business owners or as employee. They can segment as, for example, married or single, and so on. So you can classify as much as you want different segments, and then you will be targeting and creating content for each segment totally different from the other. The second thing is to do some social media natural posting within your network. What do I mean by natural posting? It means without the advertisement. It could be you speaking to people. It could be you in your real life. It could be you how you do your jogging, or how you do your fitness exercises, or how you are spending time with your family, because people care about you much more than they care about your ads. So it's very important to do an ad, but what is more important is to see each person, how they are really behaving in their real life. What is their opinion about this fact or that fact, a new regulation, or about a certain problem that is happening? How would you behave? This is what they are interested to hear. And then they will ask you, what do you do? Just like in your social acquaintances, you don't just say, hello, what do you do? You say, hello, how are you doing? How's the family? How's the weather? So you break the ice first, and then you go to saying what you do. So that's very important, to start thinking of natural posting in your social media network. Definitely the third point, which is related to social media, but it's very important to focus on, it's the LinkedIn professional connections. So not growing the LinkedIn professional connections, because for me, the LinkedIn is replacing the phone calls, especially if you're targeting business people. If you're targeting, if you have a product and you're just selling to anyone, then this is not for you. But if you're targeting business owners, CEOs, professionals, HR managers, I don't know, each one has a different segment, then this is the place to be, because this is where everybody is involved. This is where they share articles. This is where they are part of groups. And this is where they are more willing to listen to you and to connect with you, because they are here to do business. So very important to take care of your account and your growing the connections, but without spamming the network. So this is also a very important topic which we can discuss further. So also, you need to always think about informative blog articles to raise awareness and change statistics, because it's not only about posting ads, it's not only about posting what you do, but it's also about posting something scientific, research, statistics, to raise awareness. How many people died last year? How many people are born every year? How many people are being diagnosed? What is the percentage of COVID versus the percentage of cancer, or the percentage of car accidents, or I don't know. So anything, so you can share your opinion by combining it with facts and figures from the market. And of course, mentioning the sources down there, it gives you a much more powerful position on within the network where you are sharing these information. And of course, the beauty about a blog or article, you can also share it on all social media platforms. You can also send it by email, and it is a shareable content that people may share it by WhatsApp, by LinkedIn, by Viber, and so on. Surveys, polls, and questionnaires are also very important, because this way you are not only telling people what you do and all the statistics and so on, but you are getting their opinion. It's like when you go to the restaurant and they ask you about the food. How was it? What was your experience? What went well? What went wrong? So when you give your opinion about something, when you put your when you fill a poll or a questionnaire, it means you make people feel that you care about their opinion. And of course, what is more important is when they give an opinion, whether positive or negative, is to take it into consideration. And then if you have a survey, take the results, the summary of the statistics, and then you can share it. Of course, there are so many tools in this regard, the Jotform, Google Form, it's really unlimited. But the point is really to have the awareness about sharing this information or this questionnaire. Moderated webinar series is also very important. For example, if you are selling retirement, you are selling education, you are selling a specific product or service, it's important to have a moderated webinar to speak about a specific topic. So maybe you are talking about critical illness, and you get inside the webinar a doctor that is specialized in critical illnesses, and a very well-known doctor. So this becomes like an influencer, but a real influencer, not just a social media influencer who is just having fun and sharing some TikTok videos. So this is a very powerful tool that you can record, and then you can send back to your people, and it might shake them because they feel, oh, you know, Dr. X, and did you hear what he said? So yes, this is important. I need to connect with X. I need to connect with you. So let's meet again, and because, or can you please send me the replay because I couldn't make it. It creates a new momentum. Public speaking opportunities, which could be done online or offline, both are applicable, but these are very important, whether you are speaking in universities, in hospitals, in big companies, in festivals, in exhibitions, it doesn't matter. What matters is to see where your audience is and to go give a small speech, 10, 15 minutes about what you do, because people will start putting you on another scale. You're not anymore that salesperson or that insurance guy. You're an expert in your field, and they want to refer back to you because they want to learn more and more from you. Something very important, which is retargeting your old prospects, because many people, I'm sure that any salesperson, specifically also in insurance, for example, they meet hundreds of people every year. Okay, if their closing ratio is 20% and they saw 200 people, so they closed 40 cases, which is beautiful. But what about the 160? Are they really going backward to retarget these people? Or they really forgot about them? What happens if you are in business for 10 years? 10 times 160, that's 1,600 opportunities lost. And of course, we know people who make 500, 600 meetings every year. So even if their closing ratio is 30%, then how many opportunities are they losing simply by not retargeting those old prospects? And I'm not talking about phone calls, resending them targeted emails, resending them greeting cards, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Adha, Ramadan Kareem, or any kind of event or occasion, depending on the country. Okay, so it could be anything just to connect with these people, or specifically to sell them something based on their date of birth, based on their anniversary date, based on any case or information that you get through that sales questionnaire or that fact find. Of course, referral forms, which could be integrated in your emails, or you can send them separately. I usually send after each, for example, workshop, or after each mission that we do in consulting, a certain form where I ask people to refer me to other people, to give me their testimonial, and also to give me their feedback about what was good and what was bad. Also, of course, it's always very important to send creative corporate gifts or letters. You can also make subscription forms from different types of products with special questions and content. So, for example, you can make them a questionnaire about education, about retirement, about critical illness, about inheritance taxes. And once they click on it that they are interested, you ask them 3 to 5 questions to dig deeper about that specific subject, and you get that information on a certain form or a certain landing page, and then you retarget them, you initiate a meeting, and you take it from there. Of course, it's important to join relevant LinkedIn groups, because there are a lot of professional LinkedIn groups where we can connect with either colleagues or peers or even potential target market. You have to optimize the use of the CRM, customer relationship management, despite the fact which CRM you want to use. If you're not using a CRM in sales, it's like a designer who doesn't want to work on Photoshop, or it's like, I don't know, an engineer who doesn't like AutoCAD. So it's impossible in this era of life to be working in sales without really having a good or really mastering the knowledge of any kind of CRM, which manages your workflow from prospecting to the servicing, the history of each client, the communication, every single part of the process. Also very important to use the social media, whether Facebook, LinkedIn, or other, to build alliances. So maybe you can build alliances. I personally do, for example, with lawyers, with auditors, with marketeers, with the IT companies, because we complement each other's in different parts. So we build this alliance, and then they start referring people to me based on each case. Organizing physical events and social presentations. So it could be something not really related to always to the business. It could be related to something else, but it's important to make it from time to time physical, maybe over a barbecue, maybe over a family, I don't know, gathering on a Sunday, or a hike in the mountains. But this will build up relationships without so you just share a post. I'll be this Sunday hiking with my family on this mountain. If you're interested to join, bring your family, and let's meet there. As simple as that, and you'll start seeing some magic things happening, because people want to connect and to build more and more relationships. Last few points is special hybrid events, where you can have people online, people offline, and you can be discussing some specific events, informative with awareness. Video content management, which is very important these days, is to create different videos, whether informative videos or promotional videos or product explainer videos, or the list is unlimited. Testimonial videos. Get your clients. What do clients say about you? And record that on a video and just throw it on your YouTube channel, on your website, on your blog, on your social media, and so on. Send them by email. So it's very important to have a diversified content for your videos. Of course, the same for the testimonial, which could be written, which could be a voice, which could be really also a video, which could be a one-to-one, for example, asking the person, they can tell their stories, or even sometimes you personally can tell their story, but of course, without mentioning any name. So you tell the case, the story by itself. It will be inspirational for others to connect with it and to avoid such problems. So they will connect with you to do that. requesting meetings from special market niches. So you can be requesting meetings from specific audiences. For example, it could be, I don't know, an association of a certain type of production companies, pharmaceutical companies, HR association, and so on, where you can integrate and share some knowledge in there. And of course, you have to be available on all possible platforms like SMS, WhatsApp, Viber, you name it, the list is endless, where your target audience is really available. So don't say I only use WhatsApp, I don't use Viber, because for example, I moved recently from Lebanon to Cyprus, and in Cyprus I discovered that they use Viber more than they use WhatsApp. So I was shocked, because I used to send a lot of WhatsApp messages and nobody was answering, and then where they take a lot of time to answer, then I discovered that the main platform here is mostly Viber. In other countries, it's maybe another, for example, in Dubai, it's more Botim, for example. So each country has a different preferred platform that they use. So it's important to be available on all platforms and be sure to take it from there. So in summary, not to take a lot of the time, you have to set up your system. All these are nice ideas, but each and every one needs a system. So you need to set up your system, make sure everything is up and running. You need to create content. So there is a lot of effort in creating content, because you need to keep filling the pipeline and new content. And you need, most importantly, to manage the content and to monitor the content. So how many people are liking, viewing, commenting, sharing, and so on. And as a result, you will have an increased image. So your image in the market will be much better. You will have an increased network. Your network will be growing without even making an effort to do that. And we all know, when you grow your network, you grow your prospects, and then of course your sales will grow, because you already have enough skills to turn those prospects into clients. So this is mainly in a brief summary, how to become a magnet. I will leave the floor for any questions. And of course, if you want to connect with me, you can have the information and we can take it from there.
Great, Jed, and very good learning for the main prospecting. You covered everything. It's wonderful that I have a few questions, Jed. I'm just putting to right now for that. Actually, you've been talking about the LinkedIn profiling, right? So when you go for LinkedIn, if it is a paid option is available, as well as for the free options also available there. So what suits for the mainly on the insurance advisors, which could be more successful on that? Could be any learning could be there. They have to do it on to create proper profiling kind of things in that.
Look, what is important as a first step, it depends on each person where they are starting from. For some people, they don't even know what LinkedIn is all about. So now I advise them to go discover what LinkedIn is. Okay, so at this level, just go there, discover what LinkedIn is all about, and create your profile. Okay, so if you are already a LinkedIn user, then it's the next step would be to update your profile and to be an active LinkedIn user, because I know many people who have been on LinkedIn for 10 years, but they log in maybe once every 2 years. So it doesn't really so it's not relevant. Okay, so if you are already existing on LinkedIn, you must be active on LinkedIn. And being active on LinkedIn is a topic by itself, because you need to create content, you need to share content, you need to engage with content, you need to connect with people, grow your network, share articles. So it's really a job by itself. Now, if you are at this level, then you can go for the premium account, for example, where you can be more specific, more targeted, and start, for example, because you want to connect with more people from different countries and so on. So this is where you start going into the paid accounts, where they give you more access to more people, because the basic premium, the basic LinkedIn account has a limited functionality. So you cannot connect for as many people as you want, for example, or you cannot send as many messages as you want. Okay, so plus or minus these numbers change. But for example, recently it was like 100 per week. Okay, so if you exceed 100 per week messages, that means they will kind of block you, or so your account will be blocked for 2 days. So if you keep on doing that, then because they don't want a certain machine or somebody to really be aggressive in abusing the system, so they are keeping it a niche market for the business. So in this case, if you are sending less than 100 per week, then you can keep the initial account, the basic account. If you want to go for more because you want to expand further and to be more aggressive, then it would be healthy to update but then of course it will be very, very efficient.
Thanks.
In that scenario, but not to start with, of course.
Just you're talking about the 200 prospects, right? So you were meeting, and that 40 is convention and 160 are being left out. So what kind of activities able to send them to back to at least get some activity to get more awareness about? One, I feel that mailing keep sending a lot of mails to them will get active on that. So any other ideas in that?
Yes, look, it's really unlimited what you can send, but on top of my mind, the first thing that comes to my mind is always the email, because any email newsletter you send that is specific to that segment will be beneficial for them. Sometimes it's better to send by LinkedIn message or by WhatsApp a certain article or a certain video that you know, because you remember that conversation that you had with that client, for example, or with that prospect about artificial intelligence, or about, I don't know, maybe he has a factory that produces water bottles and you saw a new technology for water bottles. So you can take that article or video and share it by WhatsApp or by email or by LinkedIn and so on. Or it could be something as simple as connecting with them. Hello, how are you? Hope all is well. The family is good. It could be the greeting by itself, you know, so by like as we said, Happy New Year or whatever. So it's just depending on the occasion. Don't send them Happy Valentine's, you know, so just send something relevant to the occasion itself. And depending on if, for example, now in Cyprus, there is a certain occasion, then I will be for example, greeting the Cypriot clients and friends. So I will not be greeting everyone around. So it depends on each and every scenario. And of course, anything you remember inside. Sometimes, for example, you might be in a discussion where they tell you, okay, my son left the country and now he's studying in the UK. And maybe you are traveling to the UK and you tell them, by the way, I'm going there. So if you want to send anything to your son, just let me know. So it could be really personalizing that information, getting back to people, their date of birth. Maybe you met 200 people, those who didn't buy, they have their birthdays. So if you log that date of birth inside your system, it will give you a reminder. So how nice it is to go back to these people and tell him happy birthday to your son, to your daughter, to yourself, to your etc. Even if they are not a client, they will remember you. You know, so this is kind of how to get back to them in each and every possible scenario.
Thanks, Jed. This fairly normally these questions will be asked like so. In social media, now we've been more famous in doing it in Facebook and Instagram, promoting a business, another thing. Is that mandatory to have two accounts, to both one professional one and personal one?
Look, it's a very debatable question. It's a very debatable question. Generally speaking, they say the personal account must be a personal account and the business account must be the business account. As simple as that. But it's like, you remember a few years ago or many years ago, we used to get one phone for the business and one mobile for the personal life, not to combine both. Good luck. You're gonna end up on one phone and combining everything together. So it usually happens like that. So you tend to feel that your personal account is not for business, but you end up seeing that most of the results come from your personal accounts. Okay, and sometimes you open the business account because you want to make a great image and paid ads and so on and so forth, and to give that big impression to clients, and then you see that nobody's really liking or sharing or commenting. So you start mixing both together. So I think there is no rule. The rule for me is to be present online, to be active online, and to make sure that online is not wasting my time, but giving me a return on my investment, time investment. So it's if it works on my personal account, let it be. So no problem. If it works on my business account, no problem. If it works on any other type of account, the bottom line is to bring those prospects and to close those deals. So anything that gives you the result, just do it. No problem.
No, again, you mentioned about the testimonies, what we got to send it, right? So there could be some kind of formulas, or there is a certain limits of contents we need to hold it and send it to you, or how it is works.
Sorry, can you repeat? I
No,
lost
the testimonies, you talk about testimonials on the mails or social media.
Yeah.
Contents we are going to send him. There could be any kind of formulas we have to apply. So certain limited words could be used for it and send it up actually.
Look, there's nothing technically specific. What I like to put as, I would say, testimonial or something is just to let your clients talk about you. So just ask them some question. What was your experience with me? And can I please share it? So sometimes they will tell you that you might hear things that you've never thought of. You know, it could be something like, oh, Jad, I like that Jad very much. He's always available. He always goes to the extra mile. He always so anything that's positive, and it's not really over doing it, but just giving. Maybe they will tell you, okay, we tried many people. For example, I tried many insurance agents before, but they were all trying to sell me. But thanks to that person who really, he was a very good listener. He noted every pain I had, and he gave me exactly the right solution. So these things, if 2 or 3, usually it must not exceed 3 to 5 lines. Okay, so in terms of text, and if it's a video, I think it depends on the type of the video, but it could go from 15 seconds up to 1 minute usually. Now, if it's really, if they have a story to tell, if they were diagnosed with cancer and they got a check, or they got paid for a certain claim and so on, maybe they will be telling a story within 2, 3, 4 minutes, then no problem. But the most important thing, because people don't like to read and people don't like to watch big videos, as much as possible is to try to deliver the content fast and to make it as genuine as possible, which applies also to the previous question. When people feel a lot of logos and campaign and very nicely done sentences and so on, they tend to feel more and more distant from you. When they feel that you are more genuine and this is you as a person, and there is not enough advertisement, they get closer to you and they want to do more business with you. So, which by the way, the rules of marketing are the opposite, but this is the rule of the reality. So anything that is really genuine and close to the heart, this is the best thing to do. Yeah.
But thanks for reminding that. I used to see the people's status, WhatsApp status. That's what I'm saying, mixing with them actually. They keep putting their insurance, about insurance. They're putting about the offers and other thing. I don't know how they're going to view it off on that. I never encouraged to put it on that. But I agree with you that the way we need to approach the client. So when you promote something, definitely they stay away from you. That's what the psychology works, right? That's what you've been talking about.
Yeah, look, it all depends on the type of the audience that you have on your network. So some people like to read, some people don't like the motivational issues, or so some people. I think the key is to make a variety, not to just focus on one type of content, because you don't want to be the blogger of the social media. We're not bloggers, you know, or influencers, or I don't know. So we're just here to make business, but we want to share our expertise or our content or our. But if you're selling all day long, they feel offended. And if you're just on a personal level and doing fitness all day long, and then they say, okay, what's the relation with that industry? You know, so I think the key is always, it's just like the whole person concept, the wheel of life, where you have to take care of all your areas of life. I think you have to take care of your wheel of content. Let's put it, this is a new word, the wheel of content, where you have diversified content about different areas of your life. And it makes it more juicy and more
informative, right?
Interesting for people to watch, to engage, and so on. Yeah.
The one common question, Jed, and I also face this one. The corporate clients, we go and meet the corporate clients. So there could be a lot of competitors who would have sent approach them for business, mainly on business insurances and business opportunity and mutual funds or anything. What were the one best things we can able to tap them when you're the prospecting? could able to share with you, because you've been with SMEs, right? So be 20 years, right? So
what to share with the SMEs, you mean?
yeah. One prospecting idea with SMEs.
Look, with the SMEs, I can give you hundreds because look, SMEs are the heart of the economy. Okay, so the economies don't grow on the multinational companies. They count on multinational companies, but they don't grow based on multinational companies. Economies grow on small and medium, and most commonly family small and medium businesses. This is where the economy works. This is where you employ more people. This is where you engage more and more. So I think the concerns of the SMEs are unlimited, especially the last 2 years. The small and medium enterprises don't have support anymore. They used to count on banks. Now they cannot really count on banks. They used to count on investors. Now they cannot really count on investors. They used to count sometimes on donations. Now they cannot count on donations. They used to count on clients coming to them during different seasons. And now with the COVID and everything that happened, they don't even have clients. And they don't even have the sales skills or the marketing skills to go and attract new clients, or sometimes they are stuck in a certain territory. Not all businesses have the privilege to sell online or to make digital business and so on, unfortunately. So I think the rule number one to keep in mind is to understand what an SME or a family business feels during tough situations. This is a topic that I can speak days on about, because
then you safeguard it. Then we will do it within a different program about our specifically being able to come out.
Yes, definitely. Because let me tell you something. When you go to a multinational now, with all respect to multinationals and so on, but if they are in a crisis, they are still getting paid at the end of the month.
Yes.
And this doesn't really make them feel the pain. But for a small and medium business, if you don't buy from them, they might end up at the end of the month with no money at all. So it's not a joke. This is a pain for them. This is and if they lose their cash flow, they can lose on paying their dues. They can lose on paying their installments, their bank loans, their social security, their insurance, so it's the whole mess, and it's happening already. So it's really happening. So the key is to start understanding how these SMEs think and operate, and to understand their concerns, and then you can start thinking with them or like them, and start giving them hundreds of solutions. But at least it's to be able to understand how they operate, what they feel, what are their concerns. And if you do nothing, just meet with these people and just ask them one question: How are you handling the tough situation? Just that one single question could open the floor for a 3 hours conversation, and maybe they will start crying. Because it's crazy what they are going through. It's crazy. At one point, they were supported by everyone, and then the next day, nobody's looking at them. So it's a pity. It's a pity, but this is where the focus must be on all levels.
Okay, Jed, before closing the final question, I'm just putting it to you. Today, now again, we have been so struggling, came up with COVID again. Still, COVID is not in, and COVID not going on. Now again, the war took place. How you look at the economy right now, and what was your recommendation for that?
Look, I think around 2 years ago, or a little bit more, when the COVID started, we thought that's going to be a 1 month issue. It's and then a 3 months issue, and then a 6 months issue, and then 1 year passed, and we're still wondering what happened. And then we said, okay, no problem. Next year we're going to start, and we started making New Year resolution. And then the second year was even worse. And then we said, it's okay, it's finally done. And a couple of months ago, we felt that it's ending. And then new waves came, and now they are saying that some countries are releasing the measures and things will be back on track again. But I think, in my opinion, even if they release the measures now, the harm that was done the last 2 years are, I cannot say they are unrecoverable, but I can say that there has been a lot of harm for the economies everywhere. Now, what is important to see is I still wonder how some people and some salespeople and some insurance agents are still not benefiting from the online. I really don't know, because it's crazy to keep waiting for things to happen. It's impossible to keep waiting. You must do something, and there is a solution, not to the problem itself, but there is a solution. You know, before the COVID, I used to meet an average of 4 companies a day. That was a very good target for me, and I've been used to that for the last 20 years. I have 3 or 4. I schedule 5. I do 4, sometimes 3. The average is 4 meetings every day, 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening, and then that's it. So 20 meetings a week between sales, between training, between management. So I think that was a good ratio, and I've been really doing very well. When COVID happened, of course, this number dropped to almost 0. And then I said, we launched a challenge inside the team to say, you know what, we want to make at least 4 meetings per month online. We ended up the year averaging 7 to 8 meetings per day. So from 20 meetings a week, which is per month 80, now we ended that year with 8 meetings a day. So 8 meetings a day, that means 8 times, I would say 5, that's 40 times 4, that's 160. So it's really even more. It's 8 times, yeah, like we really jumped up with the number of meetings, 1. 2, what is more important, in each and every meeting, instead of meeting 1 person, we started meeting 15 or 20 people. So we started doing small webinars. So instead of, and sometimes I used to see 100 people per day. So the scale was different. Now, of course, the closing ratio is not the same. That's for sure. Okay, you cannot close the same closing ratio. But even if your closing ratio decreased, but you are seeing a much bigger number of people, and at your own convenience. You are in your bedroom, you are in your car, you just put a virtual background behind you, and you just meet anywhere. You know, if you want to work for more hours, you target other countries where now they are in, now if, for example, it's evening, maybe it's their morning time now. So you can work almost 18 to 20 hours a day if you want to work. So this is new opportunities, and you can see them and you can communicate with them. So in summary, if people are still not benefiting from the digital world, and digital world is not only about Zoom and just video conferences, it's everything we mentioned before, and there are so many other things as well. But connecting these things together and making sure, and this was a decision that I made 2 years ago, but I optimized on it this year. Now I can literally work 100%, not from my laptop, but from my mobile, 100%. I don't even have a single paper anymore. Everything is automated. My accounting, my emails, my social media, my content, my calendar, contacts, everything, my documents. I don't even have a single paper. So this was a big challenge, but and I did not create that technology. It's already there, you know.
You don't define
it's not like I'm promoting a certain platform or certain technology. It's already there. And most of them, you can start for free. So there is no excuse. As long as you have a phone in your hand, as long as you are using Facebook or WhatsApp, that means you can make a lot of business using that same piece of device. So it's really unbelievable what you can do, but you have to be ready. You have to organize yourself. You have to create a system. And if you keep in your mind, because I know a lot of salespeople, and specifically in insurance, who say, you know, this doesn't work in our industry. It's a man-to-man, it's a one-to-one, it's you need physical meetings, you need to shake the hand. Okay, good luck, all the best, and let's meet after the crisis finishes, if we can get the chance to meet, because we might not. It's impossible. We need to benefit. It's like saying, I don't want to use the email. I want to use the fax machine. Good luck. Who is still using the fax machine? So the world is evolving. COVID is there, whether it goes or comes back. I think it was a learning lesson for us to, again, to use technology more, to count on diversifying our tools and methodologies, and to make sure to revamp our internal learning, internal system, and so on, not to count on a certain system or platform or technologies, to be ready, because on technology, you just export, import. You want to move from one technology to another, you export the database, you import there, and you just keep on moving. It's very important. If you don't follow up with this, people could die, really, literally. So I think two major lessons we got from COVID is using technology, and of course, giving more quality time for ourselves and for our family, because business will never end. You know, it could change from one audience to another. It could change from one platform to another. It could change from, but if you go back 10 years ago, you will see that we have been always going into changes, but we always adapt. We always find a way to cope with it. But it's important to stay up to date with technology. Can you still use the same phone that you were using 10 years ago?
No.
Can you still use the same laptop, the same phone, the same? You need to change. You need to update yourself. So that's why it's very important. And we need to give more attention to our quality of life as a person, as fitness, as family, as faith, because end of the day, we don't know when COVID or other than COVID will attack us. And then even insurance cannot play a big role. It plays financially a big role, but it cannot play a big role on the other things that we could lose, like time, like the quality of living, and so on.
Thank you, Jed, and it was wonderful learning from you for prospecting Magnet. I think it does not stop you, like expert like you. We are looking forward more and more on, strategically and about customer service, about marketing and digitally, and so we will connect back with the different topics. Now we'll have audience also. You can able to get the questions from the audience, and we'll do the live webinars. Probably we'll connect with an April with a very good program on.
Sure.
Looking forward to your support. Thank you, Jed.
Thank you for this opportunity, and we'll surely keep building this further, more and more.
Perfect. Thanks, friends. And we have already connected with one more expert, and we are sharing about how to do a prospecting by different ideas you have shared, and very valuable one. You got any questions right, definitely send it to me, and we will ask to Jed about what the best solutions we can do. So I'm signing off right now, and we will come with one more a new expert with new ideas with the next Learning from Experts series. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Jed. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.